Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening in. I find these team presentations a very good thing. Gives me an overview of what's going on. Makes me make a little overview of what we're doing. It's nice to try to be concise and be precise on what you do and where you are, which part of the development you're in the middle of. Now, we have a status this month. Our first test launch satellites. We've actually had it on the board a little while ago with Randa. It's a 2 kilograms CubeSat. The hardware is mostly okay. The ongoing work is software and systems integration. We have 4 microprocessors on board and an onboard network protocol, and that's a bit complicated because of course it's all sort of development software and not completely free of bugs yet. Launch issues, we're going to go down to interorbital systems later this week and have the discussions about when and how and the last bolts and nuts to get that. This is how we hope we might be looking, with a set of antennas sticking out, solar panels all over, which means that the available logo space is measured already in % of surface from when we start. We will have to overlay the logos afterwards on the solar panels, otherwise we have no energy on board. So that will have to be done software-wise later on. We will have a little iron motor, engine-based, at the end of it for propulsion. And the first thing here is really to test that we can get everything to work, and we will not go in the direction of the moon yet. Here is the satellite itself in the lab, and with all its cables and things still being worked on. What's the mission plan? Well, we're going to check that we work. We're going to radio signal home. We are going to stabilize our attitude. We are going to hope to have that done after sort of 10 orbits, more or less. We're going to send a photo home, and we're going to start the iron rocket motor. And if we get to that point, we will be very satisfied. Well, of course, we have some additional things we'd like to do when we are out there, but if we get to that point, sometimes later this year, or did I hear early 2012, we will have a discussion about that later this year. So that's the hardware, current hardware situation. If we go on the YouTube situation, I have made a little overview of how many minutes of video we've done in compliance of the Master Team Agreement version 3.0. We are producing, actually I made this before the second quarter was completely over. We are producing around 50 minutes of video, number of blogs 14. The views are up to around 1,600 views not per day. Take care. No, we're not. I mean, we're up to 17 views per day. This is what we can score right now. Tiffany, I admit that if you think in terms of Google, this is not so high numbers, okay? But nevertheless, we have them, and we can see changes as we go. I made one more thing with the data yesterday. We also get comments sometimes. Some of them interesting, some of them less so. Some thumbs up or thumbs down. Now, if I sum all the comments and all the thumbs up and down without thinking about whether anything happens with them, I have got around 100 of them out of a total of 12,000 views. So you can say my engagement rate, which is something I can measure, is around 0.8%. And if you have ever worked with Google Ads and done a bit of that, you will know that if you are able to get yourself a rate of around 1% of some useful behavior once you put something on an advertisement, you are really in the good range. So that's more or less where we are right now. Thank you for your attention. I have one more thing to say. which is that we were a bit unhappy with the change of the timing for this meeting. So I'm going to propose to the Google Luna X Prize that we have the next Team Summit in March 2012, followed by one in December 2012, in September 2013, June 2014, March 2015, and December 2015. That's a 9-month interval, which is more or less what we've been keeping. I urge the GLXP to fix the weeks and at least a general indication of where, and stick to it. And with that, thank you for your attention.
Go away there. Question.
What solar panels you guys using?
We're using those triple junction 3-level cells, which gives us around 2.5 watts per panel. Yes. So the total thing we have on board is, you can say, a little bit depending on the directions to the sun, is around 6.5 watts, something like that. I'm going to go down to Randa and try to convince her to send off the rocket early in the morning or early in the evening, so that once I get out in orbit, my orbit will be perpendicular to the direction to the sun, so that the experiments we need to run, which will be short-lived, they will all happen in sunshine.
And the second question, what brand of microchips are you using?
We're using Amtel A whatever they are, 9000. We actually have 2 or 3 different brands on board, which is crazy, but that's how it came out, you know.
Since you're working with an ion drive, I presume that when you do your actual moonshot, that you will have to use some sort of rad-hardened components because you're going to go through the Van Allen belts for a fairly long time.
Yes, I mean, all components on board, let's say, are grown out of a company working in the CubeSat business, and they are radiation hardened to a certain extent. We don't know how serious, let's say, how good they are under those conditions before we've flown them.
What kind of ion engine is that? Is that a Hall effect?
It's an engine, the metal engine, which means that we're sending out those positive ions, and we need to have a neutralizer on board to get rid of the negative ones as well.
Other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Euroluna. Can we have one?